Hello again. Welcome to Surviving to Thriving. And here we address how to move from struggle and just barely surviving in a world that just feels too big and too fast, too loud, too busy, just overall too much, to a place of being calm and actually thriving as a highly sensing person. So I am your host and glad to be here as always. I'm Tammy Goen. I'm a high sensory coach and self-love coach. I'm so glad to have you here as always, where I try to help as many highly sensing people as possible to stop feeling like they need to be completely different, that they stop playing small and really put themselves out into the world where they're so needed to be a really strong and gentle force. So I'm so glad to have you here. And today I would like to talk about self-talk. And it's really important to talk to ourselves as if we were our own best friends. So how would we talk to our best friends? How do we use negative self-talk? We need to catch those things, because if we pay attention to how we would talk with our best friend or our really close loved one of some kind, we're probably going to be saying different things sometimes. Hopefully we're getting better and better at this, to those that we love versus those who we live with constantly, right? Ourselves. So even seemingly benign things can be a big impact. So more recently, I discovered that I would say things out loud quite often when little things would just not go well. I'd make little mistakes or something. And I was saying things out loud like, geez, Tammy, or really again, and those kinds of things. I wasn't saying I'm stupid. I wasn't coming right out and saying that. But really, when we use those terms, it is kind of basically telling our unconscious and the universe, I'm less than, I'm stupid, I'm bad, there's something wrong with what I do. It's, somehow I'm just not okay. So I have been more aware of that, and I have been pretty good at being able to just say, if something doesn't quite go right, something like, oh, wow, okay, or huh, that happened, and then take a breath and move on. And it could be something simple like walking from one room to another and getting to that second room and standing there going, I don't know why I'm here. What did I come in here for? I've forgotten. And having that automatic response of, I can't believe I did that again, or how can I not remember this? Trying to remove those things and just say, oh, okay, I'm sure you guys, you've never had that happen. Go into a room and have no idea why you're there. But it's those little things, that the way we talk to ourselves, that we might not even catch. Maybe we're okay at this point of not calling ourselves stupid or not saying really damning things, about or to ourselves. But those subtle things can hold a lot of impact. So part of this is being able to let go of our expectations for being perfect, for not making mistakes, for everything to go just right. And that would be like one of my big things, that I want things to be fair and just and happen just the right way. And so I have to really rein myself in a lot when I catch myself being super frustrated about something that's no big deal, and then stepping in and saying something that has a negative impact on me. Or sometimes it's just the situation, this isn't fair. That doesn't help me either. But really looking at the ones that are directed toward myself. So I want to talk a little bit more today, though, about how our self-talk can be used to make things happen in life that we would like. So if we're not conscious of our thoughts, then they can be very unhelpful. And because we're all energy, and our thoughts and emotions are energy, and we resonate with various frequencies, we do need to be very careful that we're not saying those things that are lower energy or negative, that are going to make a big impact, and switch to making sure that we're conscious of that and saying all the good, positive things. So the quotes that I've chosen for today, they're all actually 3 different quotes by the same person. Emile Coué, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, he's French. If you persuade yourself that you can do a certain thing, provided this thing is possible, you will do it however difficult it may be. If, on the contrary, you imagine that you cannot do the simplest thing in the world, it is impossible for you to do it, and molehills become for you unscalable mountains. So a lot of what I was just talking about, right? those words really become our reality. So if we really believe I can't do this, we're not probably going to be able to do it. Or even if we're saying it, but not really meaning it, like, oh, I'm never going to make this work. Well, that's probably going to happen right there. So another one of his quotes is, thought or suggestion is able to mold the human body as a sculptor chisels his clay. So this has to do with health, and I've been talking about that a bit lately. And our physical being is still affected by our thoughts. And then this last bit from him, which specifically is from a book that he, about his information that he wrote and researched over 100 years ago, but someone has collected all of that and put out a book within the last, I think, 5 years or so, 5, 6, something like that. I think 2017, actually. And it's called Simple Self-Healing, The Magic of Auto-Suggestion. So he was kind of a pioneer, I would say, probably, talking about the importance of our self-talk and what our mind hears. And so this last bit is, but if our unconscious is the source of many of our ills, it can also bring about the healing of our moral and physical affection. It can not only repair the harm it has done, but also cure real illnesses. So great is its action on our organism. So I just loved everything that's in there. And that's yet another book on my list of those that I want to get. So I have not read that yet, but I'm thinking it will have some really amazing things that, and I said, a lot of people are talking about this kind of stuff these days, but I think 100 years ago, that was probably not really on the radar much. And another resource that I want to mention is, lately I've been doing a lot of listening and following Marissa Peer, and it's Marissa with only one S and Peer. You can find her on YouTube and tons of videos. And she's a psychologist. She's really into neuroplasticity and this idea of mind over matter, and that we can change things, and really focusing on how the things that we say, how we say them, are transferred into our physical body, into our experience of life. So it's just this great reminder of how everything we say does in fact become a reality. So if we use terms like I always, or I'll never, fill in the blank. I always mess that up. I can't ever remember this. I'll never be able to, whatever that is. Our unconscious mind hears that and says, oh, okay, let's make that true. Let's make sure that we do whatever it takes so that she can keep saying that, because that's what our truth is. And so if we say today is the worst day ever, then probably from that point on, things are going to be a bit challenging. Even if we'd said, well, what happened and how long did that last? Oh, it was about 15 minutes. But then the whole rest of the day, what happened to that? Well, suddenly that's got this cast to it now of, oh, it's a horrible day. So I guess it wasn't really that great. Wasn't that good because it's a bad day. So we really do color our lives and our experience by those things that we say. So some other things that we can say instead of these things, I can't handle this, is, wow, this isn't what I'd like, but I can manage. Or this is temporary. It's just one spot in my day, instead of saying the whole day is horrible. And then our unconscious will just say, oh, yeah, no big deal. And just kind of move on, let it go, and not harbor on, this horrible feeling of, this is never going to work. And then our, brain kicks in again with, this always happens. This never goes right. I don't know what I'm doing. All of those things, our unconscious says, oh, okay, noted. We'll make sure that this keeps happening this way, which is not what we want. But our unconscious doesn't know that. It just says, oh, this is what I heard. We're going to make that true. So if we start paying attention to that and making those positive statements that we want to be true, and our unconscious does the same thing. It says, oh, that's the reality now. Okay, let's make it happen. So we can perpetuate things also by just claiming things. So even stuff that we don't want, like my headache, my stress, my anger, we say these things with this possessiveness, and our unconscious says, oh, that's mine. I don't want to let go of that. So let's do whatever in my power to make sure that I stay angry, I stay stressed, I can't get rid of this headache. All of those things and it's not, even a judgment. It's just our unconscious saying, oh, okay, I got the memo. I'm going to make this true and not let go of this because it's mine. So if we use things like this or the instead, so we say, the headache, this feeling in my head, this anger I feel right now, and then it can just be temporary and not as big of a deal for our unconscious, for our bodies, for our minds to let go of them, because it's not possessive, and it's not stated in a way that it's forever, that it's a horrible thing, but it is what it is and it has to be there. So if we can focus on those positive things instead, that helps so much more. And so one of the things that Marissa likes to talk about, she calls it the DIC program or viewpoint or whatever plan. And it's DICCC, but then every time I listen to her, she adds another C in there. So it's really 4 C's. So there's direct, instruct, command, compel, code, and then also condition. So she uses this as not really a mantra exactly, but these statements to say to ourselves repeatedly throughout the day, every day, saying what it is that we want to be true, so that our unconscious takes that in and says, all right, this is the new reality. This is the way it is. And then we start letting go of all of those other things that have been in the way. And we can do a lot of different work with different practitioners or on our own to let go of these limiting beliefs and this programming that we have. And that's really important too. But it's really effective also to just put into practice these positive statements of, it's more than just affirmation. It's saying, no, this is the reality that I choose. And this is what it is. And make it that, because again, our unconscious listens and just says, oh, okay. And it doesn't say, oh, that's hard. I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I can let go of this old stuff. It just says, oh, I'm listening. And then it follows what that new thing is. So if that's the majority of things that you're doing, that's what it's listening to. And it's not going to pay attention to that other stuff so much. It's not going to have a foothold like it has in the past. So whatever that is that you're wanting to change, it could be your immune system, your physical body, your emotional system, your energy system, whatever that is, looking at, what does that look like if it's completely healthy in the way you want it to be? And then programming that in, coding it, as she would say, to create vitality, health, optimal functioning. She even has videos, which I've not even watched yet, on manifesting, say, financial abundance and things like that. But it's just that idea of putting out those right words to the universe, but to ourselves, to our unconscious, to make those things true. So for example, if we have neck tension, we can say the DIC, the DICCC, to release that tension and return to optimal functioning. Or we can say, all of those things, demand, etc., my emotional system to calm and balance and release what's not helping. Whatever it is that you're wanting to achieve or obtain or have be true, using those positive statements to set it in to play in so our unconscious says, oh, okay, we're going to make these things, these true. So when we use these kind of tools, we're setting our intention to be what we want rather than focusing on what's not working. And I have said this in the past, but our unconscious doesn't really pay attention to negating words like not or or whatever. It just picks up those big bullet points. So if we say, I don't want X, our unconscious is just really going to just pay attention to X. So we really need to be clear. This is what we want, not what we don't want. So our intention is really, really powerful, but it's not magic. It's our systems that are just set up to work this way. And energy works this way. Our subconscious, our unconscious works this way. It just processes the information, holds what's true, listens to what we say to it, and then that's the reality. And we have certain frequencies that we resonate with that are helpful or not. And so when we focus on those things that bring us to that right resonance, that right frequency, that we want, then things just kind of follow. But if we get locked into all the stuff that's not working, we're going to stay at that frequency, and then all of those things are going to perpetuate. So, there are various frequencies that are good for healing and balance and calm, and we want to be in that place with the right words, because again, those words have frequency. And it can also definitely be helpful to listen to music that's based on like certain solfeggio frequencies that are the right frequency of healing or of love or happiness or whatever. Those things can definitely help, and getting sound healing sessions with someone or using a tuning fork, those kinds of things can help us with that frequency. But there's a big impact in the words that we choose in terms of that frequency. So lots of stuff to be considering that's kind of part of that more typical term of mind over matter that I think is maybe coming a little bit overused, and so less important, or people just go yeah, and don't pay attention to that so much anymore. But it really is true. It's this mind over matter thing because of our intention, because of the power of our energy within that intention, and making our unconscious just follow what we say. So before wrapping up, I wanted to just do kind of an example, take you through what I've been doing following Marissa. And then again, I would just encourage you to reach out to her YouTube channel and watch anything where she's presenting, any of her talks. But her videos are really good, and they're set up as like a guided meditation that actually walks you through all of these in whatever theme that it is that you're looking for. Again, whether that's money or health or your emotional state, figuring out what it is that you are wanting to achieve. And then she's got lots of those opportunities there. So this DICCC, so it's direct, instruct, command, compel, the order doesn't really matter, code, and then condition, because she tends to add that one and I really like it. So I make it 4 C's. So we want to have those things said, and out loud is always, I think, more powerful. So if you can do that, if not, do it in, just in your mind. So you can do this throughout the day, no matter where you are, of course. And if you do have that opportunity to say it out loud, it just makes it really strong. Have a really strong voice when you do it and say, this is the way it is. So let's say we're going to use this with some kind of a perceived pain or tension in your body. And if you have that right now, pick it, what the one thing is to focus on right now that's most specific. And when I say more general words, you're going to use that, more specific word, really focus in on that. But it'll work also for just pain or tension. So I'm going to say just generally speaking, tension and pain, and then you use that as you will. So we would say, I direct, instruct, command, compel, code, and condition my body to release tension and pain and return to its fully healthy, functional state. So let's do that again. I direct, instruct, command, compel, code, and condition my body to release tension and pain and return to its fully healthy, functional state. So let's do that one more time. I direct, instruct, command, compel, code, and condition my body to release tension and pain and return to its fully healthy, functional state. So saying that with a really strong voice, as though you believe it, that that's the reality, and that becomes the new truth. Not like, well, I don't know if this is going to work, or your body needs to hear, oh yeah, this is the new deal, the new way. So I hope that gave you some tools to work with for a while, and some different ways of creating. You hear that a lot these days. We create our own reality. Well, what does that mean, and how do we do that? And part of it is the affirmations, and always trying to catch ourselves from saying things that are not positive, that aren't helping us. That's really important. But doing it in a way with a specific intention that says, this is my new reality. It's what makes it so important. So, and I've already started noticing some things physically with myself by doing this for the last week or so. And I have a friend that I got going on this, and she's been dealing with some really significant pain in her wrists. And she said, oh my gosh, I've been doing this for 4 days and they're already feeling so much better. So I was really excited by that. So I just want to, provide as many tools as possible for you, because as highly sensing people, we can get, overwhelmed more easily, experience all these things, these reactions to things in our environment, things are in our emotional state, our energy systems that can just be really overpowering, not working as well. And so the more tools we have, the better. And if you have questions on anything more going forward, please do reach out. If you want to consider working with someone to help guide you through something like this, some kind of self-care, set up, create that system that will be totally sustainable and help you through everything, whatever it is that you're looking for, please do reach out. I'm here for you, and I will see you as always next time. Thank you so much for being here.